America just banned an entire car brand. Not because of safety, not because of price, because of who owns it. And here is the part that makes this story so strange. The company that owns the banned brand also owns another car brand that America just approved. Same owner. Two totally different outcomes. Let us start with what actually happened. On June 25th, the United States Department of Commerce told Polestar it cannot sell any new vehicles in America, starting with the 2027 model year. Polestar is a Swedish electric car brand known for sleek, minimalist design. The government's reasoning comes from something called the Connected Vehicle Rule, a law finalized back in January 2025 that blocks any car company owned or controlled by China or Russia from selling connected vehicles in the United States. Polestar is majority owned by Geely, the massive Chinese auto group. So under this rule, Polestar is out. Now here is the twist. Volvo, the Swedish brand famous for safety, is also owned by Geely, the exact same parent company. And back in May, just 1 month before Polestar got banned, Volvo was granted a waiver to keep selling its connected vehicles in America without any restrictions. Same Chinese owner. One brand gets blocked, one brand gets a green light. That contrast is what has the entire car industry talking. To understand how strange this really is, you need to know how deeply connected these two companies are. Polestar and Volvo do not just share an owner, they share a factory. The Polestar 3 is built in Charleston, South Carolina, at the exact same plant that builds the Volvo EX90. That plant received over $1.3 billion in investment and employs more than 2,000 American workers. The Polestar 4, meanwhile, is built in Busan, South Korea. Neither Polestar model sold in the United States is built in China. Yet the American-made Polestar still got banned, while the Volvo, built at the very same American factory, got approved. It also helps to know the scale difference between these two brands. Volvo has sold cars in America for 70 years and moved about 121,600 vehicles in the US in 2025 alone. Polestar, by comparison, is a much younger and smaller brand still trying to establish itself, which may partly explain why regulators treated the two so differently. So why the different outcome? The official word from Volvo is that its waiver came after what the company called constructive discussions with the Department of Commerce about governance, technology, and data security. Industry reporting suggests the real difference comes down to how each company manages its data. Volvo is a separately listed company with its own leadership, and its connected car data systems are reportedly governed and operated out of Europe, kept at arm's length from Geely's Chinese operations. Polestar, on the other hand, is smaller, newer, and much more tightly woven into Geely's shared technology and software systems. In other words, Volvo may have convinced regulators that its data stays independent from China, while Polestar could not make that same case. But here is the problem. The Commerce Department has never actually published the exact criteria that separated these two rulings. Nobody outside the government has seen the real paperwork explaining the decision in detail. So while the data governance theory is the leading explanation floating around the industry, it is still just that, a theory pieced together by journalists and analysts rather than confirmed word for word by regulators. For a rule built on national security, the process behind it remains surprisingly murky. The connected vehicle rule itself is broader than just Polestar and Volvo. It covers a wide range of technology, including Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular connections, satellite systems, cameras, microphones, GPS, and the automated driving software running underneath it all. The software restrictions kick in starting with the 2027 model year, which is what caught Polestar right now. A second wave targeting banned hardware follows later in the decade. So this fight over Polestar is really just the opening round of a much bigger rule that is going to reshape which cars Americans are allowed to buy for years to come. And the financial hit for Polestar is real. Bloomberg Intelligence estimates roughly $250 million of 2027 revenue is now at risk, about 5% of the company's total global sales. On the day the news broke, Polestar stock dropped as much as 13% in midday trading. That is a serious one-day hit for any public company. Now, before you assume this spells doom for Polestar, the numbers tell a more balanced story. In the first quarter of 2026, Polestar actually posted record sales, delivering 13,126 vehicles, up 7% from the year before. And the United States was never really the heart of Polestar's business to begin with. Europe already makes up close to 80% of the brand's total retail sales. In the first quarter of this year alone, a massive 94% of Polestar's deliveries came from outside the United States entirely. So losing America hurts, but it is closer to trimming a small branch than cutting down the whole tree. Polestar's own CEO, Michael Lohscheller, framed the exit as a strategic pivot rather than a defeat. In his statement, he said the automotive industry is entering a new phase built on regional dynamics, and that Europe is now the company's largest growth engine. Polestar has already announced plans to manufacture its upcoming Polestar 7 compact SUV directly in Europe, doubling down on the region where it already earns most of its money. The company is also eyeing growth in Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America, and Canada as it shifts its focus away from the United States. Still, American buyers are losing out on a lot. Polestar has a genuinely exciting product pipeline that will now skip the United States entirely. The Polestar 5, a fast electric Grand Tourer, is set to begin customer deliveries this summer, but not in America. A refreshed version of the Polestar 4, the brand's global bestseller, is planned for later this year. An all-new Polestar 2 is coming in 2027. None of these will reach American driveways under the current rule. For a brand that was just starting to build real momentum in the US with that record-breaking quarter, this ban lands at an especially painful moment. It is also worth remembering that current Polestar owners are not left stranded. Existing cars remain fully legal to drive, service, and resell. Software updates will keep arriving. The shared service network through Volvo dealers stays open, and Polestar has committed to continuing parts support for the long run. This ban only affects new car sales going forward, not the vehicles already on American roads today. There is also a bigger question hiding underneath this whole story. If the real fear driving this rule is that a Chinese-owned company could quietly funnel American driver data back to Beijing, then Volvo should face that exact same risk, since it shares the exact same Chinese parent company as Polestar. The fact that regulators found a way to approve one and reject the other suggests this rule leaves a lot of room for judgment calls. Not just hard, consistent, black and white national security rules applied the same way to everyone. This case also will not be the last time we see this exact fight play out. Other automakers with ties to Chinese ownership, including certain models sold under Ford's Lincoln brand and General Motors' Buick brand, could face similar scrutiny under this very same rule in the years ahead. Polestar may simply be the first name we know. It likely will not be the last. And this whole story unfolds alongside a separate, much larger trade fight already underway, since the US has kept a 100% tariff on Chinese-made electric vehicles for years now. The connected vehicle rule is a completely different tool aimed at data and software instead of price, but it points in the exact same direction, making it harder and harder for anything with a Chinese ownership trail to reach American driveways. So what do you think? Is this rule a genuine national security precaution, or is it protectionism wearing a security badge, like some critics are already calling it? And if you were cross-shopping a Volvo and a Polestar right now, both built by the exact same parent company, would, knowing they share the same Chinese owner, change how you will feel about either brand? Let me know in the comments. If you want to keep following how trade rules like this one keep reshaping which cars Americans are even allowed to buy, subscribe so you catch the next update. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.